talk about these eating habits leading to weight gain. And I thought this title was kind of interesting to me. You know, there's many eating habits that we can do to lose weight, and we do that in a healthy way. And we've been talking about this for these most of these 7 months. But we also, there are food-related tendencies that can actually cause us to gain weight. And there was a new study that came out. That's where my presentation really originated from. It was published in the journal Nature Food. And they looked at they had adult participants. They actually put them in an inpatient setting for 28 days. And during that 28 days, there were 2 different diets that they would follow. So for 14 days, they do one diet. The 3rd and 4th week, then they do the other diet. They could eat as much as they want, whenever they wanted. It's just what they could eat. That part was controlled. So, and from that, they came up with these 3 things that they say are eating habits that will most likely lead to weight gain. So here's the first one. Eating fast. Which that probably makes sense, right, to a lot of us, because it actually, am I in the right place? Yeah. It actually takes about 20 minutes from the time you start eating to you feeling full, to you being satiated. And so if you're eating fast, you may overeat because you're like, I'm not full yet, and you just keep eating. Also, when you're eating fast like that, there's some reason that you're probably eating fast. Usually, maybe you're stressed. It's like between meetings at work, or I gotta go get this done, and so maybe you're a little bit stressed. And sometimes we don't really even think about why we're eating like that. So you just need to try to be aware of, why am I eating, standing at the sink, going like this, So that was the first thing. The second thing was consuming larger or more amounts of calorie-dense food. And I don't know if you remember, we talked about this one time during our seminar. And when I'm talking about that, it's not the amount of food we eat, it's how dense the calories are in the food we eat. So they call this calorie density, energy density, but it's the number of calories per weight, essentially is what it is. And if you look at the picture here, these are 3 stomachs. The first stomach up there that has 1.6 ounces of olive oil, I believe. Yes, olive oil. And that's 400 calories. The next stomach has 7.6 ounces of roasted chicken drumsticks with the skin. Now, the picture showed there's bone. I don't think there's any bone. Just clarify. So that's 7.6 ounces, and that too weighs 400 calories. Then the stomach that's full has 2.5 pounds of spinach, eggplant, and beans, and that's 400 calories. So you look at those 3, which one probably makes you fuller? And that would be the one with the beans and all the veggies there. And what we know is foods that are that have a lot of fiber, which the vegetables, as you know, have a lot of fiber. They have a lot of water. And those foods are typically low in calorie density. So what it is less calories per weight. Does that make sense? You see the little bit of oil, that's 400 calories. Then you see the chicken. Then you see what all you can get with the whole food vegetables. So here's another example that's kind of a good example. You got strawberry ice cream. So if I have 100 grams of strawberry ice cream, which is about 3/4 of a cup, that's 200 calories. If I have 3/4 of a cup or 100 grams of just fresh strawberries, that's 32 calories. And we know in the strawberries, they still have their fiber, right? Because of these other foods that are processed, all the fiber is taken out. And the fiber helps you feel full sooner, right? The fiber is like the roughage that helps your GI system move it all down, so to help you to be regular. And also with the fiber, it absorbs toxins and bad things in your body and get that on out. And by moving it on out, those toxins are moving out faster if they're in there. So you're missing all that when you're eating these high calorie, high density foods that typically don't have fiber. And the third thing, which kind of goes along with calorie dense food, is eating something they call them highly palatable foods, which that doesn't really sound that good. But what that means is they're high in fat and sodium and sugar and carbs. And it's the bad carbs, because it's the carbs that have been processed, so not the whole food. And so this was just the name of the article and the authors. But so what we know is, out there, some of the food manufacturers, they have figured out the excellent combination of some sugar and some fats and some salt, and they get that all packaged up for us, and we like it because it is good. it is good, but it's bad for you. But they have it, we're just kind of bombarded with these. These foods are calorically dense, so there's high calories per weight, and they taste good. They're easy to grab. It's typically processed foods. You can put them in your pantry, and they're good a year from now. What they say, Twinkies, I don't forget how long they live forever. I don't know. But those foods, again, they're highly processed. You're not getting fiber, and again, we're getting too much sugar, too much fats. So you guys know what I'm going to say. Is the best diet. I saw that, I think, Judith, you picked up the paper outside. The optimal diet is your whole foods plant-based diet. And that's where, again, we eat mostly plants, minimally processed, minimally changed from their whole state. You don't add fat, no added sugar, limit your sodium intake, and drink water. And this is what I think you picked up that has some of the information just to kind of help, is to eat less of the fats and the oils, less of your sugars, less of foods containing cholesterol, which is all meat. Eggs, includes eggs, limit the dairy products if you are going to, and if you are going to use dairy products, use the low fat. If you do eat poultry and fish, they still do have fat, but just so eat it sparingly. Decrease your salt, no salt, no alcohol, no caffeine. I mean, this says decrease, but if you could do no, that's even better. But again, everybody's at a different place, right? Like where you got to kind of set your goals of where you start. And then you want to eat more of the whole grains, more of your tubers and legumes, or your beans and your, those kind of crustacean vegetables like cauliflower. If you just roast the meat of those veggies, they're good. I mean, you don't have to put oil on them. Just roast them. You can throw some spices on them, but they're really good. Eat more fruits and veggies. As I said, drink water. 70% of our body is made out of water, needing to replenish. And eat your hearty breakfast. So what we talked about during the seminar is, your biggest meal should be breakfast. So we talked about eating breakfast like a king. Your lunch is like a prince. So it's bigger than your dinner, but not as big as your breakfast. And then eat smaller at dinner time. So yeah, I know I've talked about that, but why do we want to do this? Why do we even care that we want to try to eat better? But we want to live longer. And as we live longer, we want to be healthier, right? It does help us maintain a healthy weight, but we do know there's data all over the place out there that the whole foods plant-based diet does lower the risk of lifestyle diseases, and that includes heart disease and type 2 diabetes. And there's data that shows you can even reverse those two diseases if you change to the optimal diet, to the whole foods plant-based diet. Because it does decrease your cholesterol, your blood pressure, blood sugars, the inflammation in your body, and it can decrease the risk or your effects that you're having if you have it for kidney disease, for lung disease like asthma, for stroke, cancer. It really, the data's out there. I mean, it's just out there everywhere. It's really amazing the difference it can make. And it is better for our environment when we're eating the whole foods plant-based diet versus animals. We know how that is, but also just that processing the toll that takes on our environment. So, let's talk about some stuff. What can we do? What are some things we can do? Many of these things you probably know. One thing is, before you just start pigging out, per se, ask yourself, are you really hungry? Do you need that snack? Eating rituals. Well, what the eating ritual is, again, if you have a family or you have someone else at home, maybe you choose one meal a day is the day you're really going to sit down and have your meal, or all 3 meals. But make a plan kind of how are you doing your meals versus it's kind of haphazard and, eating on the fly. And you may need to eat on the fly, but have planned ahead and you pack something, you got apples or something healthy that you can snack on. Sit down. We talked about this at one of our earlier seminars too, is if you do have trouble with eating just so fast that you don't know you're getting full because you eat so fast, when you take a bite, then put your fork down so you're not just slamming it in there. Eliminate distractions. Sometimes you're watching TV and you just kind of absentmindedly are eating, or some people watch TV and snack in bed at night. I mean, just try to think about try to make your meals about your meal and not everything. And then don't eat late. And I just say late because everybody has a different times they get up and go to bed. But if you cannot eat within a few, 3 hours before you go to bed, it's better for your digestive system because it doesn't have to work while you're trying to sleep. Your body kind of needs to rest. And also, when you eat more in the morning and you're moving around all day, you expend more of those calories. If you have indigestion, things like that, again, you would know that eating within a few hours before you go to bed, you're going to end up having worse indigestion than eyes, but just try not to eat within that few hours before you go to bed. Sometimes we reward ourselves with food. I've done that before. I got this part of my house clean, so maybe I need a piece of chocolate. Well, think of something else that you can reward yourself with. Maybe it's a nice walk in your neighborhood or something. Oh, now clean out your pantry. What this really is, it's not really an eating habit, but it's what you have available. So if you look in your pantry, what you have, we're going to talk a little bit about meal planning in a minute, but don't have things in there that are tempting to you that you don't want to eat, maybe like potato chips. Maybe that's something that if they're just in there, you just feel like I gotta go eat them. Well, just don't have them. Just don't have them. And then cook at home if you can. And I know you can't always. And again, I'm going to talk about meal planning in a minute. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But if you do eat out, because I know sometimes we do eat out. I eat out. But I read this was interesting. It says order first if you're with a group of people. I don't know how you guys do this, but I'll often be out to eat if there's several people. Well, even when I'm to be out with Kim, I'll go, well, what are you eating?
We always eat the same thing.
But we eat the same thing. 1 or 2 things. But sometimes you're with other people and then you say, you yourself have said, okay, I'm going to get a salad and then I'm going to get this, the roasted veggies that you decided it. And then you go, oh, what are you eating? And then somebody else there is getting, something that's high fat. And you think, oh, maybe I'll get, and then you end up changing your order. So order first, make a plan, order first. Because you can look at menus ahead of time before you even get to restaurants now. And you can pick out the healthy lane. The other thing is, you can ask the people, the waiters, waitresses, if they can change things a little bit. There's something that Kim and I like. We like this salmon, I forget what it's called.
Oh, the squash Wellington we asked him to do last
It was
time,
the
didn't
squash
we?
Wellington.
Yeah.
But we just said, can you pull back on the salt? Because we had it before and they really salted a lot. So you can ask them that. You can, they may have something that's fried, you can say, can you grill that instead of frying it? You know, you can ask for different sides, did the fries, get fruit. I mean, there's things, and people usually at restaurants, the people are pretty amenable to that. And start with the salad before you get your meal. You know, try to get part of your satiation with the salad. Maybe you have to take home half of your meal, and then, you know, you didn't eat it all. Get dressings on the side. Watch what you're drinking. Again, water's the best thing, but if you get other kinds of drinks, many times there's lots of calories in those. So. And then always have healthy snacks and water with you. I mean, I just keep a water bottle or two in my car. You know, you can keep some apple in there, nuts. You know, if I travel, I do that because, you know, I'm not tempted at the gas station. You know, they have all that stuff, donuts and stuff. That's highly palatable, but not good for you. And then have a group of people to support you. You know, that always makes a difference. So just some things there to share. Again, kind of came from that article. And then a few things about meal planning, and I'm going to get to show you these things that I found online, but some of the things to do is to prep ahead. If you can, like when I worked full-time, well, John and I both worked full-time, we would go to the grocery store on Sunday, and then we would come home and we would take salads to work through the week. Well, we would just go ahead and make all our salads for the week. You know, we wash all the lettuce, we cut up all our red peppers and stuff, and then we'd have them all packaged and ready to go, and then we would just have that for our lunch, which was good because, you know, we were at work where we worked at, there were a few different dining areas that you could go to and get that highly palatable food that all your friends were getting. But if I had my salad, you know, we did a pretty big container of it, then you get pretty full. So, but if you could do that, so back, if you can just prep ahead, even for the week, even if you're home or whatever, even for your dinners, if you know what you're making ahead of time, you can go ahead and get a lot of your vegetables cleaned, cut. You know, now there's some vegetables like tomatoes and potatoes, you know, you want to cut ahead of time, but just time to do some of that preparation work. Maybe you're going to have some rice, like a rice bowl or something with rice. You can cook rice ahead, it's good in your fridge for the week. And then, what? Oh, not good?
It grows.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I always used to do it.
Yeah.
And I've just been reading several things lately about that it grows stuff really fast. So if you can go ahead and cook it ahead, just keep it in your freezer.
Okay.
Pull it out
Yeah.
and then warm it up. Don't keep
Well,
it
many
in
of
the fridge.
the, yes, so
Yeah.
that's a good point for that you don't want to leave rice in the refrigerator too long because it will grow things, so put it in your freezer. The other thing that you can do too, if you cook ahead, you kind of cook a meal to make enough for another meal and put it in the freezer. And I will do that too, put things in the freezer. So just kind of cook two meals when you cook one meal so you can freeze one and just have it ready for later. But if you can kind of do a lot of your prep work on the weekend, that's good. Whoops. And then if you can make a meal plan, so like what are you going to eat every day for the week? And that's helpful so that you ate, because John and I do that and I put it on the refrigerator, because if you don't do that, then it's like, you know, you're just going to grab maybe bad things or go buy something bad to eat. So, and as I said, some of the recipes you can make larger quantities, you can freeze some of it, so you'll have that. The cleaning out the refrigerator is just before you make your list to go to the store, see what's in there, what's good, what's not good, throw out what's not good. You know, just kind of take stock of what you have there in your pantry. Then make your grocery list, go to the store. We talked about washing and pre-cutting produce as appropriate, like I said, tomatoes, don't do that, tomatoes and potatoes. Make sure you have reusable containers or things, freezer bags, you can put things in, as I said, you can freeze it. You can even, if you have a recipe that you has spices in it, you can cut the produce up, throw it in your bag, and then you put go ahead and measure out your spices in another bag, and then you just have it all together, and you get it out, and you can make it. And for me, when I am cooking, I try to get all my, the things I like, if I need to use the vitamins, if I, need to have cutting board, I try to get all my stuff out so that you can kind of be more organized as you put it together. So, here's what I wanted to show you. So, Kim and I both got to this Plant Pure Kitchen. And this is the book. So, Kim Campbell is the daughter-in-law of Dr. Colin Campbell. And this book has 130 recipes. There's other books out there that they do. But all these recipes are online. So, I just want to... And I'm happy to email you these with, actually already has the links on them. Because when you look at this one here, on this there's a 3-day meal plan you can look at. Here's some ingredient substitutions. So like, what can you use instead of eggs? So I won't read everything, but if you get, it's just, there's all kinds of information in here. Dairy, egg substitutes, which I found a lot of this really helpful. And then so if I go, okay, now if I want to go back to my slide, can I do that?
Yes.
Okay. So there's a 3-day meal plan here. There's how to do batch cooking, cooking without oil, tips on dining out. So this page, this link, see all these categories? Appetizers, Asian, Mexican, salads. I mean, I don't even know how many recipes are on here. It's a lot. It's more than what's in this book. And these recipes are really, really very tasty. And also on the site, okay, I'm going to try to go back here again. Okay. I won't click them all since we're kind of going out of time here, but there's tips and tricks, batch cooking, recipe collections, articles. I now just want to show that I'm going to move to, this is Whole Foods Market. Okay, I looked through their meal plan and their recipes, Whole Foods, the grocery store. This was really nice. Look at the dinner roasted cauliflower steaks, beef hummus, apple crisp. Oh, that was awesome. The key is you just have to plan. That's the thing. You just have to plan. And so I won't keep clicking because again I know we're kind of running out of time, but I'm happy to just send these to you guys if you would like them so you can click on and look around. But the Plant Pure really does have good recipes that taste good. Because sometimes you get some of the recipes and they don't really taste as good. I mean, everybody likes different things. You got to do, like I said, you got to do what works for you, but you have to make